create a content marketing plan. Really, really, really important. Don't just promote yourself and your company the whole time. Think about your followers. Give value to your followers. So we believe in 411. And that's across all social media, whether it's Facebook, whether it's LinkedIn, whether it's Instagram, whether it's YouTube, WeChat, Weibo, whatever it happens to be. That means one hard sell post. If I talk about black marketing, that's a hard sell post. So I now have to give value back as a result of that. So I do one soft sell post if I talk about content marketing or personal branding, but don't mention my brand. And then I have to do 4 unrelated posts. So if I share that, then that gives value back. And then people actually give me permission to actually do the hard sell post. So you have to really, really think about how you give value to people. Share genuine insights, share tips, share what's going on, share what you're doing, share something of value to people. So think about sharing blogs and share customer service. Look at Eva here, for example, who basically had to go at Grab for basically overcharging and basically giving very, very bad customer service. Got over 300,000 views on LinkedIn, including 300 other people who said the same thing. So customer service things work phenomenally well because it's real, people can empathize with it, and it's about business as well. This happened to me in the tower next door, for example. I went to a restaurant and they served me Perrier-Jouet champagne in a Moet & Chandon glass. And when I asked them, why are you sharing the Moet & Chandon glass, Perrier-Jouet champagne, the Moet & Chandon glass, they told me they had not broken all the Moet & Chandon glasses. I kid you not. So billions of dollars worth of branding. And all those Instagram posts where people are congratulating each other with Perrier-Jouet in Moet & Chandon. Yes, precisely. You're shaking your head there going, why would they do that? So I posted this, got like 50,000 views. The best person in the world to actually see this, the brand director of Perrier-Jouet, rang me up and said, name the restaurant, Chris, and you can have a crate of champagne. Before she could say crate of champagne, I'd already told her what the restaurant was. Happily, it came the next day. She had to go to the restaurant, and they got rid of all the glasses. It wasn't as if they did not have Perrier-Jouet glasses. They had the glasses. They just hadn't smashed all the other ones, so they thought not to use them. Just phenomenal. You do have to be yourself on LinkedIn. I love this photograph from Ritz-Carlton in Hong Kong, the highest hotel in the world, one of the best hotels in the world. And I basically arrived there. My room wasn't ready because of full occupancy, and I complained. They said, we apologize, and you can have our boardroom for free for the whole week. I go, wow. The boardroom of the Ritz-Carlton, normally they charge a lot of money for this. So I had all my clients up here, all my guests up here in this great view. They were very impressed I had the Ritz-Carlton. So absolutely amazing. And I did a post about how great the Ritz-Carlton was, got 54,000 views. Most importantly, this guy saw it. A guy called Rico de Blanc, who's the CEO of the company that owns the Ritz-Carlton in Hong Kong and Shanghai. And he was so impressed with this that he became a client. Now this post here does not mention my company. Doesn't mention what I do. It congratulates the Ritz-Carlton on what they do. So I'm giving genuine benefit to them, congratulating them for basically being outstanding. But that photograph got me 4 clients. Because we work for the Ritz-Carlton in Hong Kong and the Ritz-Carlton in Shanghai. We work for Rico, we work for the W Hotel, purely as a result of that photograph. One photograph got me 5 clients. That's the power of photographs on LinkedIn. And you also want to be spontaneous and authentic and on a Sunday. Because entrepreneurs and people in general like looking at LinkedIn on a Sunday. Multinationals don't work on Sundays. So it means if you're clever and you're sharp and you're an entrepreneur, you can actually get more cut through as a result of it on a Sunday. So I went to Tokyo before Christmas, and this happened to me. I had all my social selling books literally being opened up by the customs. And they literally were going through them like this, going, oh, where's the drugs? Where's the drugs? Where's the drugs? Didn't know I'd come from Singapore, so obviously we weren't going to have any drugs. No, whereas they'd be watching those James Bond movies where you cut out the middle bits and put something in the middle. It's like, what are you looking for? And at one point, they actually turned to me after they went through it, because they couldn't believe I had all these books in the bag. And they said, is this you? And I looked at them and went, really? Really? I had a 7-hour flight, and I was being stopped at customs. So I was being quite sarcastic, which I shouldn't have been. I said, how many other people with a fucking mohawk come through your airports? And they basically went, oh, yes. And they eventually gave me it back. But it was just hilarious. They told me off doing the picture. But by the time they'd actually told me off, I'd already posted it on LinkedIn. So it was too late. And it got 40,000 views, and I got 89 other people who said the same thing. Other people said, I got stopped at this airport, or I got stopped at airport. One guy in Singapore got stopped 49 times at Changi. And he also had books as well. So there was obviously a common thing about books in suitcases. It's like just bizarre. Why is it books? People don't like to see books in suitcases. It's really weird. So you have to be observational. So when I saw that Gojek, for example, buying this across the Comfort's taxi rank in Suntec, posted that, got like 10,000 views. So it's little things like that. You give back and you basically show what's going on. You do a story that people can relate to as well. So on Chinese New Year this year, I should have been with my fiance, who's basically Chinese Malaysian, and I basically wasn't. I was working. So basically I got cut down with food poisoning. So I ordered Deliveroo, and obviously it wasn't the best time to do it. And I ended up at hospital. So I went to hospital, had drips and rehydration, the whole thing. But I told this story about, working so hard, but also feeling sorry for myself, but then hearing the guy next door who was having a heart attack. Literally having a heart attack. But okay, this food poisoning isn't really that bad. I need to get out of here now and go back to work. Because basically it makes it put in perspective. But also I heard the doctor tell this guy what he needed to do in the future to stop having a heart attack in the future. And he was just so basically, you're having a heart attack, sir. It's very serious. We need to get you to hospital now, get your heart done, remove all the bits, and then you'll be fine. And then what we'll do is basically I'll show you how to stop having a heart attack in the future. Absolutely brilliant Singaporean kind of health policy there in one faction. But it made me think about it, and it got like 40,000 views. And like 160 other comments of other people also commenting on the health service of Singapore, for example, also saying I shouldn't be working on Chinese New Year, and that kind of thing. So, and it's just great in terms of observational to make it a business context, make it relatable to you. Because people ultimately are following you on LinkedIn. It's a social network, just professional social network. You got meeting interesting people, so if basically whenever I meet someone interesting, I take a picture, put it on LinkedIn, because people like to see that on LinkedIn. It's still a social network, just in a business context. Look at things like crowdsourcing. When we launched Rockstar, for example, keynote speaking, which is for women, I went, well, obviously women like pink. So let's hold the logos with pink. Big mistake. I put that out there, and of these 190 comments, 189 says, don't use pink, it's patronizing, Chris. Okay, so I quickly got rid of the pink and changed the brand colors. There's only one person who said she wanted pink, and everyone else said they didn't want pink. So we changed the brand colors to kind of purple and red and black and gray instead. And it's doing that kind of crowdsourcing with a professional audience who give you genuine feedback, which you can genuinely use. Because I could have made a massive mistake. If I had launched that one, for example, even this one here, where people said, that's fantastic, Chris, but can you do a Chinese version? Can you do a Indian version? Can you do an Afro-Caribbean one? Oh my God. I obviously can't use that image. And it basically didn't occur to me, but it occurred to other people when they had a look at it. So it's a great place to actually do crowdsourcing. So you want to share your, your passions too. So when I went to see Guns N' Roses in Hong Kong, it was actually 30 years since I'd seen them in London. And the difference was quite amazing. Not least because Guns N' Roses turned up on time, and they weren't drunk, and they didn't smash each other on the head, and they basically didn't go off after 45 minutes. Whereas that's what happened the first time. The second time, they came on at 8, left at 11, and they picked up $10 million. That's obviously, they'd obviously worked out over these 30 years that if they basically smashed the guitars up and left after 45 minutes, they weren't going to become billionaires. And that's how they become billionaires. So I relate it in terms of brand loyalty, because I've been following them for 30 years. And you want to amplify your thoughts on LinkedIn as well. You make sure that LinkedIn's amplification platform for your professional musings elsewhere. And we use an adage there called 1990. So 1990 is that 1% of people in the world on social media in general create. I think it's less in Singapore. I think it's probably more in America, more in the UK. I think it's probably about 0.3% in Singapore. And then 9% of people apparently like, share, and comment. This is across all social media. And again, I think this figure is probably less in Singapore and less in Asia in general. Americans are more like to share, comment, and like. But this one then says that 90% of people do nothing, nothing at all but view. They just view something and don't react, don't link. So you want to be the 1%. If you want to be a leader, you've got to be the 1%, not the 9 or the 90%. Fantastic about how she is the 1%. Now, she's a Singaporean woman who's the head of a fantastic law firm in Singapore, so very conservative by nature. The law firm, lots of her clients are government organizations, so you can imagine the battle she's had throughout her career to actually stand out. And her personal brand, as you can see, is fantastic. She's also got purple hair like me, so I instantly liked her as soon as I met her, because she obviously understood personal branding. So every time she's in the business time, she lets you know. So she lets you know she's a leader. She's on LinkedIn going, I was in the Business Times today and I said this. Pay attention to me, because the Business Times takes me seriously. And then when she's the American lawyer, the same thing happens. So you want to think about how you amplify yourself outside of LinkedIn on LinkedIn. When I did an interview with the British Chamber of Japan, for example, and I put the PDF on LinkedIn, got like 10,000 views. because it's a good interview. It gives you tips about how to use LinkedIn, genuinely giving back to people. So give interviews away, give content away on LinkedIn. Personalized, curated content too. I love Mark Ritson. You should follow Mark Ritson. Mark Ritson's very controversial. So he's a bit like me, but he's Australian. And he basically believes in creating engagement too on LinkedIn. So he says when he does a post, he likes it when 30 people support him, 38 people don't really care, and 32 people think he's a tosser. And that for him is engagement, because if he's getting nobody disagreeing, he's failed. He's getting no engagement. So you want to basically make people react. And that's a brilliant way of actually looking at content marketing on LinkedIn. You want to amplify your media appearances, for example. So when we do events, we do it before. So when I was on Money FM with Glenn, I promoted it before on LinkedIn. We're in the studio with Glenn. We actually made sure we basically let people know we're in the studio. And then we actually did a recording of it. And we put it on LinkedIn. Not least because nobody listens to Money FM. See? Nobody listens to Money FM. So if you put the recording on LinkedIn, more people will listen to Money FM interview on LinkedIn than will do on Money FM itself. So basically, it's a great way of getting your brand out there, getting the content out there, and because LinkedIn can do video and audio, it's a great way of getting people to listen. You want to amplify your media events as well. So before events, I did an event at Escape, for example, and they actually put a poster of me in all the toilets. First time I've ever been in the toilets, actually being a poster. So I took a picture of it and actually shared it because people thought it was very funny. And then during it, take pictures. And then after it, you basically thank people. I was in Zurich, for example, thanking them for actually inviting me to Zurich to do a masterclass. So you're basically telling stories on LinkedIn, getting people to relate to you in a very human way. You want to share videos of your talks, for example, to make sure that people can actually watch the videos so they're not missing out. They can pick up tips as well. So video is absolutely key on LinkedIn. You also want to tag influencers. So you want to do a photograph of me tonight, for example. You want to tag me. You do the little @ symbol, and then I come up, and then you tag me. What happens then is that I get notification. It says you have actually notified, you've actually tagged me. So it works in terms of getting your story then in a bigger following. It's a really, really good way of making your story go viral. You want to tag lots of people. That works too. And you want to hashtag topics. So LinkedIn now does hashtags. You want to own different hashtags. If you do things like hashtag social media marketing, social selling. So you want to think about what hashtags you want to be known for. What hashtags do you want on your content? Think about that. And then you want to basically see, you can actually follow hashtags, so you can see up there about the hashtags that people follow, for example, and make sure that you are basically getting into that feed too. Now, video is absolutely key on LinkedIn. So you can do video, but just natively, you can all take a video tonight and upload it on LinkedIn natively. You don't need YouTube to actually do it. It's maximum 10 minutes, but you can do it. So I did a test. I put a video of our office move, on YouTube. I got a massive 35 views, and I have no idea who those people are because no one registers on YouTube, but you do register on LinkedIn, so the data's on LinkedIn. But the same video on LinkedIn got 174 likes, 77 comments, and 20,000 views. And I know who those people are because the data's on LinkedIn. The data is not on YouTube, so use LinkedIn's data. Tell stories on LinkedIn. Get 350,000 views. The volume's on LinkedIn, and it's professional volume. It's not basically students or basically people who have no money on Facebook or on YouTube. These are people who are affluent, who have money. Share good news. Do demonstrations on LinkedIn. Share adverts, for example. 250,000 views that Mark got for this particular view of a particular advert. So put your views out there and get traction. Pose questions to people. 30,000 views. Share achievements. 82,000 views. Share bad news even. Not all about good news. Share bad news in a business context. Share consumer videos, but in a business twist. Share news first. Like this AI one got over 100,000 views. Anthony does. Works phenomenally well. Have thought leaders on there. Bill Gates, nearly 1 million views of this one. A video on LinkedIn getting 1 million views. So LinkedIn and video works phenomenally now. Do reports. So you should all abandon Facebook and Google and apparently use Pornhub. Apparently Pornhub is the best platform. Obviously, you can't get it in Singapore. You have to switch your VPN back on again. Apparently, John told me this. You want to look at employee benefits? I love this. Adobe have a running track in London. It's got 400,000 views. I mean, it's bloody freezing in London. That's why you have to have a running track. You're running around trying to keep yourself warm. You couldn't do that in Singapore, could you? Running track outside IBM, it wouldn't work. Interviews. Company pages authentically, like Emirates, for example, or Etihad. Organic beats paid for. Don't spend money on LinkedIn company careers pages because it does not work. No comments, no likes, no shares. People don't like the careers page on LinkedIn. They want to be authentic and organic. You have to be authentic. And you look at someone like Simone Heng, for example, who does a phenomenal job in terms of actually projecting her personal brand. She's on radio, but she's actually managed to actually record herself on radio, dancing around to her songs and actually telling a story, which is absolutely brilliant. She gets hundreds of thousands of views. People really, really, really empathize with her. And when I tagged her, when she came to our office, for example, we got like 15,000 views, and I could tell who her followers were and who my followers were. And they were very different kinds of followers, shall we say. Very different kinds of followers. You'll see, if you ever see a Simone Heng post, you look at her followers, you'll see what I mean. And you want to mix it up. Sally does this very well. Sally's like a media personality in Australia. She does lots of videos. And again, they get tens of thousands of views, literally tens of thousands. She does posts like this. I find these quite annoying, but they work. She also does pictures, and she does infographics. So she really mixes it up, but video works phenomenally well. And no, I know they're both pretty, and I know they're both attractive females, and you're thinking, well, if you're an attractive female and go on LinkedIn, you're bound to get lots of views. No, you don't have to be. You can also do videos that are 10 minutes long, 10,000 views, and you can look like this. You don't need to be pretty on LinkedIn, just have to be authentic. That's what people count on LinkedIn. And I did a review of this book, which is a brilliant book called The Reputation Game. You should all get it. It's all about how your reputation is not geared by you, but by other people. But I tagged, again, on a Sunday, I tagged the owner, the authors, Rupert Young and David. On a Sunday, I tagged them. So I said, and they tagged me back. They basically said, phenomenal, the best speed date summary of the book I've ever seen. So even on a Sunday, they saw I'd seen it, they read my video, watched my video, and they responded on it. That's the power of LinkedIn. I don't know these two guys at all. They're both in London. But it works in terms of the power of actually doing kind of tagging. So you can do an hour long, for example, like Mark Ritson does, and get phenomenal amounts of traction. I'm going to show you the trick. This is all about find nearby. So you want to get your LinkedIn phone up, and basically you want to go to the two little people down below on the bottom page there, as you can see, down here. And then you want to hit find nearby at the top. And your screen should open up like that. There you go. People are already using it. And it starts filling in. And it means in a room like this size that every single person can see everybody else on LinkedIn and connect with them. So you just go to the two little people and then basically go find nearby. Just like this, two little people here, and then find nearby up here. And if you do that, your page should start populating with people. So it's two little people, you found it? Yeah. And then you want to do screen grabs, or you want to connect with people and just say you met them at the NTUC IBM event. It's brilliant. But it only works in a room this size, and it only works if you all do it together. So it's not like Tinder or WeChat when you can do it at the time. It doesn't work. It only works if you're actually in a room at the same time. See, like every single person. Well, what I do is I'd screen grab them. So screen grab them, and then later look them up on your laptop, and then send them a little invite. It's an easier way of doing it. Why are you spamming people now?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I'm sure they'll forgive you. They'll forgive you for doing it, because they'll know, because the only way you found them at this particular moment in time is by doing that. So it works phenomenally. So if you would like your profile analyzed, please do feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn. It's completely free. And you might not want anyone to know about it here, but you can actually talk to me after this event. Because many people are going, no, I'm not going to share this to everybody else. But we're happy to give you some feedback to help you do this. Obviously, this is all about you. So if you want some individual feedback, quite happy for you to talk to me or talk to the team on the right-hand side. So I brought the four guys along there to actually talk to you. There's General Manager John on the left-hand side, and the BD team, and then Sarah, who basically helps people manage their LinkedIn profiles.